Hey folks, it's Tony here at Harrisburg Hyundai, and you probably see it now peeking behind me. It's the newly redesigned, highly anticipated 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe Limited. Let's check it out. So what you see behind me now is the 5th generation for the Santa Fe from Hyundai. They first introduced it now in the early 2000s. Fast forward almost 20 years later, and now behind me we have the most futuristic, stylish, and elegant Santa Fe Hyundai's ever created. With the newly redesigned Santa Fe, we get this awesome now newly redesigned front grille. Now the new Santa Fe is only a little bit over an inch longer, 75 inches in width, so it's a little bit wider as well than our previous generation Santa Fe. Now, don't let it fool you. It does have this more boxier cut design in the front, so it does appear that it's massive compared to its previous generation model, but in actuality, it's only just a little bit bigger than it was before. Now, what you can see that really stands out with the new Santa Fe are these awesome new kind of Easter egg style headlights that Hyundai has brought to the front. We can see now we have that H pattern headlight. In the previous model, our headlight and our lamps were stacked. They were below now that middle line. We raise that up, have that center bar that wraps around the front, just like we saw with the Sonata, the Elantra, the Kona. Now that Santa Fe has that same front style grille. Moving down, you can also see tucked in here are going to be our parking sensors on the side corners, the front, and the rear, similar to how the Palisade has them in their layout. You'll notice it's not as round off as the previous generation. It's a little sharper, a little more blocky. Now don't sweat it now when it comes to airflow in the front. The new Santa Fe has functioning vents down the sides. Also, in the center here, just like with the Kona inline, we have that functioning air duct now when the vehicle is turned on. And in the center of that, you have an awesome front camera that mimics the same style the Palisade has. As we take a moment and we appreciate that side profile now for the new Santa Fe, we can start in the front and we can see one kind of drastic change. We don't have that round bubble style hood anymore. Instead, we have more of a sharper flat midline here, and it drops off to more of a square front end design. Also added this wide flare, similar to how the Tucsons have, that we love with their newest redesign. That Santa Fe gets it here in the front and in the rear. But again, we have these parallel stack lines, really widens the vehicle. This redesigned Santa Fe looks like a baby Palisade, but in actuality, it's 1.9 inches bigger than the 4th generation model. Taller cabin pays homage back to our original Santa Fe models in the early 2000s. We moved down that side profile and it's cleaned up. It's not as round, it's not as bubbly. It's more of a sophisticated, luxurious feel now for Hyundai that they're bringing to the model lineup. For the all-new Santa Fe, Hyundai has looked at seeing how they can minimize space in certain areas and maximize them in others. What they did in the front now was they shortened that space between the front tire and your front fender by 1 inch. But to make up for that, they added an additional space now between your rear tire and that rear bumper. Plus, they give you increased headroom now for your second row and your third row now back for 2024, which makes this the biggest Santa Fe yet. Hyundai has really spiced up the game now for the SUV lineup with these Pirellis now on the Santa Fe. We got a 255 by 45 slick, low profile tire that's wrapped around a 20-inch wheel now for Hyundai. Now we also have, again, a nice little Easter egg similar to how we had with the Santa Cruz. We have this nice little Santa Fe emblem there on our front fender flare, which really breaks up that side midline design that we didn't have in the 4th generation. Increased slope now in your A-pillar, so increased visibility. When you're inside the new Santa Fe, you have this theatrical design. Really, it feels like you're in a movie theater with how wide the windshield is. Moving back your B-pillar, you'll see it is slightly pushed back than the previous model. But again, the most important thing is how tall it is than the previous 4th generation models. This new kind of hidden infinity glass wraps around the top of your Santa Fe in the cabin, and it gives the roof line this floating design that we see with some of the high-end European SUV lineups, like some of the Land Rovers, the Audis. They all share this concept. Now the Santa Fe has that same feel and appearance. Also, you'll notice on the XRT model for the Santa Fe, which will be that off-road, rugged, adventure-style Santa Fe, it will feature an additional little pocket right here, which will be a nice little handle so you can get up and access things on top of the roof. Now, the sleekest thing about the Santa Fe is how that same wide-body presence in the front continues in the rear, and it really amplifies that width and the presence of that Santa Fe. As we move down now, we have the parking sensors located on the side that extend across and around that bumper, similar to how the Palisade has them equipped. We also have another little sneaky Easter egg by Hyundai with this little H that's hidden there that mimics that emblem from Hyundai as well. But down where your brake lights are, you'll have another Easter egg by Hyundai. So when anybody is behind you and you're hitting on your tail lights, they're gonna know you're not only in a 24 Santa Fe, but you're in the newest redesigned Hyundai that's blowing the market away. Now, continuing up from that, we can see, just like with the front and some with our other redesigns like the Elantra, the Kona, and the Tucson, that stamped lettering that says Santa Fe and that polished feel. Same with that stamped emblem at the top. A cool little thing that you'll notice of how clean the rear end is on this Santa Fe is your rear wiper. Where is it? They don't come with it anymore. Just kidding. It's tucked away at the top there, just like it was for the Tucson, and it's super sleek and clean. We do have a slight little bumper lip. We have an exhaust finisher there with a chrome tip on it, and we have our additional parking sensors in the rear. Plus, you have your backup camera, which is gonna be standard now. In this little cavity that's located below your rear camera, you're gonna have your one-touch little sensor there for your tailgate. You also will feel a lock that's to the right of it, and that allows you to now lock your hatch now for 2024, which is a new feature for the Santa Fe as well. And just like when I mentioned earlier in how Hyundai has minimized space in some areas and maximized them in others, we can see that here in the rear. There's no kind of dead zones, there's no loss of space. They've maximized the width and the height now for 2024 with the redesigned Santa Fe. We have 6 inches now of increased cargo space for 2024 and 2 inches of increased height now for 2024 in the newest Santa Fe. One thing you'll notice when that tailgate is open in the newest Santa Fe is the lack of a true bumper line. So now you can really walk into the cargo area, store things, and you're not having to lift and kind of overextend your arms above your waistline. Now the hatch line is right there at your waist even, and I'm a shorter person, so it's even shorter than a normal person, but it's right there, and it's gonna make loading groceries, any kind of materials, speaker sets, guitar sets, or a bike, super easy, super efficient now for 2024. Now Hyundai has advertised the new Santa Fe as the ultimate kind of party in the rear vehicle. And again, we're pulling up at the tailgate. We can easily hop in, plenty of space for 2 people to comfortably relax, listen to music, enjoy a beverage. But then down here, you have additional storage and cargo space. You have your spare tire jack, and then underneath that, now underneath the vehicle will be your additional spare tire. The 5th generation Santa Fe offers something that the 4th generation model didn't, and that's in the form of a 3rd row seating arrangement. Now you can maximize that tailgate with your all-new Santa Fe, and look at that. You have increased cargo volume now that you didn't have in the previous model, and now we can really relax and kick back, and the cargo area now really transforms into a comfortable kind of living and hangout spot. Now, I showed you how we maximize space by laying that 3rd row down. Let's see how we can truly maximize the full capacity in the space of the Santa Fe by dropping that 2nd row. Now that is awesome. We can see now we have the most cargo capacity and space Hyundai has ever offered in the Santa Fe now. We have the Bose audio systems that will continue to the back now, where you have your kicker in the rear, additional vent to the top there for your 3rd row passengers, and some 12-volt outlets. And you have a standard wall plug out now, so this turns into the ultimate tailgating vehicle when you plug in there your slow cooker, your crock pot now at the tailgate. And now Hyundai has also redesigned the key, just like they had with the Elantra, the Kona. Now the Tucson gets that same Hyundai design key. We have your standard unlock, your door locks, your security alarm, and of course remote start still on that Santa Fe model. And then hidden on the side, you have your automatic opening there for your tailgate, and you have your smart park assistance, your front and your rear reverse smart park. And with this key, all you have to do is simply walk up to your new Santa Fe, touch the door handle. You'll see your power folding mirrors will fold out. We're ready to go. Welcome now to the inside of the new 24 Santa Fe, and you already see it now, how luxurious and classy it feels. When I mentioned earlier about the new Santa Fe being the baby Palisade, I wasn't kidding. This actually might rival the Palisade with how nice the interior is. And we'll start with the most obvious thing now, this just incredible wood grain paneling you have across your front dash. It gives off this appearance that you're sitting at a coffee table now in your vehicle, but it just complements the interior so well with this light ivory finish. Dual phone pads you'll see, one of which will be your wireless charging feature. The other side will be just a standard pad. But of course, you'll have some of the same interior functions like we saw with the new Palisade and its refresh with the multiple charging ports and sources that you do have. Right beside your charging functions, you'll see a new little feature for 2024, and it's your UVC sanitation button now for your UVC sanitation box that's located above your glove box here for 2024. And what that means is anything like your smartphone, your Apple Watch, maybe even your wedding ring and your wedding band, you need to sanitize it. Don't sweat it. You activate the button, put your item in the box first, shut it, and then hit that button, and it will begin the sanitation process for you. We'll also see for 2024 the redesigned center paneling here in the Santa Fe. Traditionally, we saw the H-lock buttons. Now it's replaced with a four-wheel drive lock indicator and these nice little tabs. Your auto engine idle shut-off will be right there in the center now for easier convenience. Your auto hold button is going to be located to the left of your driver mode indicator, and we still have our smart drive, our sport mode, normal drive, and a snow mode for 2024. Dual climate control, standard of course now in your limited and higher models, but you also have your heated steering wheel, your heated seats, and your cooled seats for the front, and the rear you have a high, medium, and low heated seat also. All these button layouts now, these tab style buttons for the 2024 model, and these tiny little physical knobs you get are complemented now by this clean, kind of touch sensitive panel you get that's behind it. So any kind of fingerprints, dirt, grime, dust easily wipes up with your standard microfiber cloth. And again, back with these Hyundai Easter eggs, you'll notice your vents have these little H design layouts all the way across that wrap around that front vent styling for you for 2024. And also you'll notice with these redesigned seats for the Santa Fe, you have increased lumbar support, increased shoulder space, and neck support. Tailbone supports increase also with lower lumbar support. But the inserts now of the seat, that middle section is complemented by that perforated design and stamped with these little H's now from Hyundai. Again, the same H design we see with our vent layout, with our grille, we have on those center inserts. Now, just like with everything else in the dash and in the Santa Fe itself, the steering wheel is also redesigned. Now, we haven't seen anything like this previously, and it's extremely unique. The buttons are kind of forward-facing, so it gives this floating design now with the center of the wheel. We also have the same center layout like we saw with the Kona. Now, your paddle shifters are a little more cleaned up. They're tucked away, and they are super crisp and efficient now in the new Santa Fe. The Santa Fe also carries over a cool little feature that Hyundai has kind of standardized in their EV and their electric lineup, and that's where your shifter is, that column style shifter. So now for 2024, you have that column style shifter, which is super clean, and it actually increases your space now for that center console. And a nice little feature for the 24 Santa Fe is how your memory seats operate. Other manufacturers and competitors, they have like a 3-step process where you have to adjust your seat, hit the set button, then hit what number you'd like to set. Now with the Santa Fe, you adjust your seat, press, hold, and it sets it for you. Just like that. Super easy. Cleans up that door panel for you, and it's all about efficiency. Now, speaking of clean, we have two 12.3 inches of clean glass here in the front in the form of our infotainment layout now. So we see that standard across the higher trim levels from Hyundai, like we see in the new refresh Sonata, the Palisade. Now this beautiful Santa Fe gets those two 12.3 inch displays in the front. One of the biggest things that complements that new display is how that wood grain layout is, but also how you have your ambient lighting that runs across the bottom of the dash and up the sides, and of course you already know, in the form of an H. But again, the coolest part is how this display has that floating feel to it, and especially how the ambient light lights up at the bottom. This tablet feels like you can pick it up like it's a picture frame that's just sitting there on your kitchen counter. One of the biggest comfort features now with the Santa Fe is how clean that dash is. You don't have any tablet that's in the way, fogging up your vision, or any huge increased pillars now or wide A-pillars. The way that this dash lays out and stretches out, it's very minimalistic and it's super classy for Hyundai. Your door panels also have that wood grain texture now. You have that space gray, that polished matte finish that wraps around that wood grain with ambient lighting that follows the door frame all the way around and comes off that dash. Now on your center console now, you notice that we have this bridge design, this kind of floating bridge design, but below that we have a great cubby hole storage and space with additional outlets. So it's easy to store things down there, any kind of packs or bags can easily get stored there. But on top, you have that dual phone pad. Cup holders now, they are making them big enough for those Stanley Cups that we all love or hate. So you don't have to throw your Stanley in the back or floor or in the trunk now. There is a designated Stanley Cup holder space in the Santa Fe for you and all your Stanley needs. Another kind of cool feature that Hyundai has introduced for 2024 and the Santa Fe is this bi-directional opening center console. And what does that mean? It says it in the word. It opens up in two different directions now, forwards and in the rear. Now with your dual opening center console, you'll notice that you can remove this little tray here. And by doing that, you can remove this tray, which opens up this giant cave where you can even pull out this accessory. And now I can fit my entire body in the center console if I wanted to. I can't, but now you can maximize your storage for the center console. And the coolest thing is, we'll get to that, is you have an additional opening in the back now that we'll show you here shortly. Now let's take a look at the second row and the third row of the new Santa Fe. Welcome now to the second row of the newly redesigned 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe. And the biggest thing you notice is all this space we have now in the new redesign. Super comfortable seats now, increased shoulder space, leg space in our second row. We're gonna have over 40 inches of leg space. Headroom is increased now for 2024, but you also will see some additional luxury features like your heated seat indicators now, your privacy shades. Still have those now for 2024. They also continue that wood grain feel that we had in the front that wrapped that dash, wrapped the door panels in the front, now wrap that second row door paneling as well. We also see that our vents carry over that same H design like we had in the front, as well as on the back of our seats. We have that H pattern with that polygonal design now. And moving down, you can see that we have these airplane style pockets now that open up, which makes the storing things for your little ones a little more convenient, whether it's a tablet, homework, schoolwork. They can just store it right there, set it and forget about it. Moving up now, we have USB-C charging on the inside of those seats, just like with the Palisade that made it famous. So you have quick charging ability with additional hooks here, so they can actually be fixated for mounts for tablets, hanging bags, things like that. And one of the coolest features for the second row passengers now is how you can access that center console. You can open up from the top now. No more asking your passenger, can you grab that for me? Or having to reach over there and do it yourself. Now with one little click, you can access that center console from the top there, or from the bottom here now, where we can store champagne, refreshing beverages, things like that. Just kidding, we do have a nice little additional pocket for the little ones. They can store their switches in there, additional headphones, maybe some extra batteries for the road trip. And we do have that dual sunroof option now in the Santa Fe. You have that functioning sunroof in the front, and in the rear you have that shutter shade moonroof now for your backseat passengers. And you can still divide your passengers now with this armrest with additional cup holders here, and a smaller cup holder that you'll see in the middle there for your smaller little energy drinks or juice drinks. Now in our door panel, we do see we have two cup holders on both sides, as well as bigger water bottle holders down at the bottom pockets. Now to access the third row, it's as easy as hitting the button that's located at the top here, or down here at the bottom, just like that. It'll slide forward. Now you can use this assistance handle to grab it from the inside there and help lift yourself up to access this third row. And now for the 5th Gen Santa Fe, we're back with a third row. You will have 30 inches of legroom, which is right up there with some of the big dogs in the third row market. So we will have a theater stack design now from your third row to your second row to your first row, where your third row passengers have increased headroom from this cavity cutout now. It moves down to your second row and that first row. We also have additional USB-C charging on the left and the right side. The back seat third row passengers can adjust their rear AC speed on and off. And we have side vents now that again mimic that H-style design for Hyundai. Hyundai has done a great job of maximizing space now in the new Santa Fe to maximize your comfort. So it's price time, and I know you're wondering, Tony, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, how much is it gonna cost me now for 2024? Don't sweat it. Your entry-level models, your SE models for 2024 will have a starting MSRP of $33,950. That'll be before your destination freight and handling, of course. Moving up in the package now, your SEL models, they'll have a starting MSRP before freight and handling of $36,450. Your off-road, rugged, adventure XRT package will start at $40,600 now for 2024. And now the limited model like we're in right now will have a starting MSRP of $43,350. Well, folks, we hope you enjoy taking some time out of your day now and walking around and diving into the new redesigned Santa Fe. Like I say time after time, we hope you enjoyed the video, but most importantly, we hope to see you in our showrooms, jumping in one, feeling it, taking it for a spin, and taking it home with you. Thank you, folks. It's Tony here at Harrisonburg Hyundai. Have a great rest of your week. Deuces.